Greetings, people. It's your boy again. We're back again. Yes, again. Prof X, Mr. Pull the Trigger. On this episode, there is one critical thing that I want to establish with everyone that follows Makandiwa and everyone that has been watching and following this enlightenment series. And it's going to be concerning Makandiwa's entanglement and Makandiwa's second wife. Here we are going to build the framework and the background history of where all these conspiracy theories of Emmanuel Makandiwa having a second wife and Emmanuel Makandiwa having other girlfriends on the sides. So on the issue of Makandiwa having a second wife, it was connected to blessing. I want to make sure that I clarify that now so that when I do the remaining 2 episodes of my full confession, which involves the projects that we did to clean Emmanuel Makandiwa's image. And within these projects, we worked with J. Israel and Evidence Chari. So I want you to pay very close attention to these episodes because we have to separate certain elements. And these elements will help you now to focus on things that really matter. And then you can have a balanced conclusion. There are 2 narratives that were sent across, that were sold to the public. And the first narrative was about the second wife. And this narrative of the second wife have nothing to do with Blessing Mashangwa. It had nothing to do with the relationship that Emmanuel Makandiwa had with Blessing Mashangwa. But they were put together so that we can just kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So the first one that I want us to look at is the one of the relationship that Emmanuel Makandiwa had with Blessing Mashangwa. It's not so clear, but I want you to judge from the voice note that I'm going to play on this video. And on this voice note, this is the voice note that was sold to Emmanuel Makandiwa so that he can fork out funds. But when it was presented to the public, it was combined. This voice note, this voice recording, it does not have a visual. It was recorded when Blessing Mashangwa was giving a confession to J. Israel about his association with Emmanuel Makandiwa. But because of the damage control that needed to be done, it had to be combined with the video footage of the secret cameras that was leaked. But these were produced at different times. This voice note was done at a very different stage. And this is the voice note that was given to Evidence Chari, and Evidence Chari went with it to convince Emmanuel Makandiwa that your secret has been known of your relationship with Blessing Mashangwa. There are specific things I want you to pay attention to that they used to discredit this entire confession that Blessing Mashangwa did whilst he was with J. Israel, so that you can all have a clear picture. And the one for the second wife, there's another recording. This is the one for the second wife is the other recording that was done at a later stage to defeat this initial confession voice recording without a visual, so that everything will look like a lie. There's something I want to teach you, enlighten you about the PR strategy or the PR template that these prophets use to deceive you people. If there's one specific truth that comes to the public or one specific conspiracy theory that has facts, intangible facts, when it comes to the public and these prophets are aware of it, do you know what they do? They create another story that is false and they'll sell that sort story to the public so that when the truth comes out, no one will believe the truth. They'll intentionally create a story that is false, that is falsified, so that they can crush this upcoming truth that is the potential of damaging their reputation entirely. It also worked for Magaya. We did the same for this thug and rapist called Walter Magaya in Zimbabwe. He's a very big prophet in Zimbabwe. He raped a young girl, this young girl called Primrose. Magaya is a rapist, he's a certified rapist, but he's always being protected. You know, these thugs are forever protected. He raped this certain girl. There's this certain scandal that came out of Magaya having raped a girl. When he realized that Petronella wanted to expose him of the rape, do you know what he did? He intentionally, deliberately called Petronella and recorded their call. And when he recorded the call, he leaked that conversation himself. And to people, you would think this has damaged Walter Magaya. But no, it has not damaged Walter Magaya. Because once the girl now goes to report a rape case, the public will say, but you were in a relationship. We had a voice note of you and of you and Walter Magaya, talking about love and, flirting on the phone. So what he has done here, he has recorded and leaked the voice note so that the entire world knows that Magaya was in a relationship with this particular girl. So that her rape case, when she wants to push it forward to the public, no one will believe it, even in court. Magaya will justify himself, but no, I was in a relationship with her. We were in a relationship. I did not rape her. So the public already, it has been manipulated into thinking that Magaya is not a rapist. So this Petronilla's story was crushed. It didn't go anywhere because people had heard the voice note that Magaya intentionally leaked himself to sell that narrative that he was in a relationship with this girl. He knew the danger that was coming with the rape case charges. So this was a damage control that he did in advance. But to him, he said he's not the one who leaked it, but it's him who leaked that voice note. That's the same with the Makandiwa story. The Makandiwa story, he had the conspiracy. It was not a conspiracy theory of Blessing's confession to J. Israel that he was in a relationship with Emmanuel Makandiwa. So when he heard that voice note, because that's the first voice note that was sent to Emmanuel Makandiwa, when he heard that voice note, that's when he said, how can we do a damage control that can kill this story so that no one will ever believe it? That's when we did the secret cameras. And in the secret cameras, I'll play it on the next episode. In the secret cameras, Blessing confessed that, but Jay, this thing that you are making me do of saying that I was the second wife of Emmanuel Makandiwa, you have to think twice about it. Because you know it's a complete lie. It's a very big lie. I was never Makandiwa's second wife. But here she was not disputing the issue of the relationship. But we had to put these two together, the relationship and the second wife, so that the entire, conspiracy theory that was going on about Makandiwa having a second wife and girlfriends can be crushed with one video. I hope you're on the same page. I hope you understand and you get the bigger picture of what I'm trying to tell you. This is a PR strategy which is called 70 to 30. When you do this PR strategy, which is called 70 to 30%, the ratio, it means you give out 70% of accurate stories and you only give 30% of the what? Of the false stories. So when you are going to defend yourself against this 70%, you just bring out those 30% and say, so the majority of all these other stories that were told were lies. That's the same thing we did to clear Emmanuel Makandiwa out of this scandal of him being in a relationship with Blessing Masangwa. So I want you to listen to this voice note. This was a confession, not a confession. This was a pillow talk between J. Israel and Blessing Mashangwa. Remember, Blessing Mashangwa and J. Israel were in a relationship. So when you're in a relationship, you talk. And J. Israel was saying, we want to expose Emmanuel Makandiwa. So when we are on live, I want you to tell me what you're going to say. Nothing was being plotted. Nothing was being plotted. Jay was just trying to verify the facts from Blessing Mashangwa of the things that she was going to say. The plot was the one of the secret cameras, not of this voice note of Blessing's confession. So get this through your thick skull. What I'm trying to explain is so that you know how this whole thing works. Tomorrow you hear stories. Makandiwa has produced so many stories so that he can counter or he can he can do damage control and prevent certain attacks and get sympathy from the public. That's why most people defend Makandiwa, because this system, this template of PR has always been working for him, but it's getting old now. When the people that designed the template decide to break it down and expose it, it's not going to work anymore. Makandiwa did it on the studio equipment. My studio equipment was stolen. What was the reason behind him lying to people that his studio equipment was stolen? Makandiwa, my wife, there was an assassination attempt on my wife. What was the reason behind Makandiwa painting out that narrative to the public and making up that story? All this is not related to this video. This video is concerning the voice note confession of Blessing Mashangwa telling Jay about a relationship with Emmanuel Makandiwa. I want you to listen at the very end where Blessing Mashangwa says, but do you know we are influencing each other here? And that entire phrase was taken out of context. When someone says, do you know we are influencing each other here? It doesn't mean that we are lying. I can influence you to do something that is good. I can influence you to go forward and represent the truth. Influencing someone does not mean that you are lying. In Shona, she said, but do you know that what we are doing here is trikufurirana? When people kanavan wachifurirana, let me just put it in vernacular. Kanavan wachifurirana, it does not mean warikufurirana kunyepa. Vanogona kufurana for a good cause, but that good cause, it takes a lot of guts. This is not something that was easy for Blessing to do, to go on live and talk about. That's why she was actually telling Jay that, do you know kufurana? Do you know that we are influencing each other? But that does not dismiss the entire confession that she had made to Jay Israel concerning her relationship with Emmanuel Makandiwa. If you're people that reason, and if you're critical thinkers, if you listen to this confession that Jay and Blessing had, at the end of it, I want you to analyze it. Could she be making all this up? And Zomba, you know this story. Pastor T, you know their relationship. I'm gonna ask the public: could she be making all this up? Could she? I want you to listen very carefully and very attentively. Here it is. Tune in.
Now we are live. Yeah. So where were you meeting? Which places, which countries and all that? Okay.
And I'm not here to start dishing information. I think the main agenda is no one to confess your sins and one another in the guy go confess, then you move on with your life because you'll be feeling this heaviness and this much. So it's not like I want to bring him down. Yeah, but we were just like a normal couple. We did what we did. We loved each other. We were good for each other, and yeah, he showed his love for me in many ways that would not show other people. My father would.
So can you tell us where were you meeting? Which areas, which countries have you traveled together as a couple?
I told you the answer.
Pastor T knows.
Pastor T knows. Pastor Romulus knows. Those are the only people, and I believe when we do things, okay. Having an affair is having an affair.
It's just a normal thing.
It's not a normal thing, but it just happened. I don't think it's not like he went out there saying I want to have an affair, and I don't think I went out there saying I want to have an affair. But when I had problems, I would call my prophet and I would go to prophet, and I'm sure he had also his problems that he's not able to share with other people. And you know what it is when there are two people who are also high profile. No, I can't say enough high profile. When you've got two people with so much to lose, they've got no one to share with their issues.
So definitely this thing was very secret.
It was very secretive. It was two people who were going through a lot, and they realized they could go through that together. And we did. I became very strong because of him. He showed that he was a pillar. He was a pillar.
He would come.
He would say, go through my prophet, but the answer would already be there that I'm coming. And I will not be surprised to see them not coming together because it's not my prophet I had invited anyway. I had invited my own man.
So you would never come to your functions with the wife?
He's trying to respect me.
Okay.
He was trying to be respectful to me.
So your relationship
It was a good one. A very good one. We understood each other.
Saka my prophet wanengatifungira.
It was not my place to try.
Suspect or anything.
I think I'm the kind of woman who would, if I'm in a relationship with someone, I'm not in a relationship with a crowd. I'm not going to be trying to think what my prophet is thinking.
Okay.
I'm not going to be trying to think what that my pastor is thinking. I was assured by my name that I was loved. That was enough for me. It was enough for me.
So that assurance was good. I
had no doubt whatsoever that he was for me. Whenever I had no money, he would send cash.
Yes.
With Pastor T. sometimes it would be said Pastor T is coming to collect tithe, but in fact he's coming to drop money.
Oyeni tithe yakolekta kumba
Na Pastor T.
mainakirwa.
And yeah, if I'm depressed, I
Mhm.
would know that I'm not happy about something, and we'll try and make it right. Like I remember there's a day
Mhm.
I went and I knelt in church in front of a pulpit. I remember my Lazaro brought me Zambia on the cover.
Mhm.
You came that same night. And you came with me, Makandiwa, not know why it is happening. Open you not know why it is happening, but the two of us would know. Okay, they will look for each other. So open your cables, exchange notes.
Are you sure?
Okay, where did we get it from? We were scared.
Mm.
So to think my Makandiwa is a good woman, I went first.
Mhm.
But my Makandiwa, it was about me and him,
Mm.
two of us.
Hani kutotaura futi kuti vanhu vanofungidzira kuti murume aite zvemabhebhuyu but kutori nevandinoziva vari kuchema vakawanda.
Because ndatozobudawo mazviri.
Ndakatozoonawo.
Why did you not talk? You know what these people, it's a psychological thing. Once you do things with these people, they will make you believe that if you say anything, you will die or you'll be cursed or something.
So that's why I've been quiet.
I was quiet, and even when I left UFI, I was actually prepared to continue. And I would have said, Ndakufa, because that was what was drilled in us. But once you leave this church, it's like the grace is gone.
You die.
You die. So I was already thinking, I might not die.
I will die.
I will die.
And for the sake of my kids, I don't want to die.
And I became stronger and stronger. But I was when I was on this paper, and I said, no, if in the relationship I can talk about it.
Mhm.
It's not true. So I'm sure there are a lot of women out there afraid with Ndikataura na Makandiwa. Hey, Makandiwa, I will die. No, you will not die. It's an affair. It's an affair.
So if you want to speak out, feel free to speak out.
If it makes you feel better, it makes you feel like you can start a new chapter in life, do that. No one is dying. No one sits that high. It doesn't work like that. As I gained confidence in God, and because once the Mariam said chapter, then I started to see that business language. You know, I bought a house in Joburg, I bought an office in Joburg. This was after Makandiwa. That's when I said, no, this guy is a liar. I'm not going to lie.
Manipulative.
So yeah, I decided that I'll talk about it. I
Okay.
didn't go asking Makandiwa out. Makandiwa is the one who came. Akataura nyaya yakakangisana kuti mamwe ndinofarira here. Saka inini kuti ndibvunze kuti muri kundifarira sei ndichiziva kuti pane munhu aripo, ndakangofunga kuti ndezvekumba kwavo. Focus on my own green lawn.
Kana kuti zvino Mwari mukati.
Zvino Mwari mukati. Because kuda kutozondipusha kuita pastor, he pushed so many times. Which means he wanted me to be very involved in his ministry. I didn't want. Yeah, no, that was him.
Yeah, no.
Because you will know that, finish. It's true. And you say, even the divorce, I'm looking at WhatsApp messages from as back as 2016, 2017 with your wife. Before, even if it was in the High Court, you knew they were divorcing. And you were saying they're divorcing because they left the church, but you were the first person to know. What is your comment on that? You have to depend on him. He's the one who caused it.
He's the one who caused the divorce.
By having an affair with me. Then he was the first one to also know. But then he went to the church and tried to make it seem like we were divorcing because we left the church. No, we don't play like that, you see. We cannot play like that. But I told her before I ran into you. It's not good at all. I swear with his own. Ever I slept with Makandiwa. May thunder strike them. Yeah. I swear. away with the most precious two people in my life, Zoe and Emmanuel.
I believe you.
I did not.
I believe you.
So as you listen to the voice note, and the reason why this part of the audio recording did not have a visual is because this is the first recording that was done. This is the first recording that was done between J. Israel and Blessing Mashangwa so that it can go and convince Emmanuel Makandiwa that your secret has been known. So what we had to do was to come up with a plan to crush this truth, to crush this story, this confession that Blessing Mashangwa had to do by putting across the one of the secret cameras. I don't want you to pay attention on the part where she says, do you know we are influencing each other? I know the captions were edited with the paragraph where she said, do you know that these are all lies? No one said these are lies. That was a manipulation in the subtitles that was made. Kufurirana in English does not mean we are telling each other to tell lies. Kufurirana, it means we are influencing each other to do the right thing or to do a bad thing or to take a risk. That's what influencing is. So don't try to play people here, Emmanuel Makandiwa. Not Emmanuel Makandiwa. We did this together. That's why I'm coming out now so that I break down everything for you people to understand where this whole thing is coming from. And once you understand this part of the video, once you understand this part of the confession, in the next video, I'm going to play for you the part where she denied being Makandiwa's second wife. But these two parts were joined together to make it look like it was one video. Like this whole plot was done at once, like it was a rehearsal of some sort to try to blackmail Emmanuel Makandiwa. But that was not the case. That was never the case. So in the next video, we'll establish. And then after the next video, then I can give you now the part 2 of the 3 episodes that I'm supposed to deliver to you concerning the entire project and what was the main agenda and what we intended to achieve and what transpired. So for now, I say goodbye. It's your boy, Prof X. Stay tuned. I'll see you on the next episode. Adios. I'm out. Peace out.